So the next step in everything that we're doing to this build is the front suspension. We actually took it to the track and only did the rear suspension last time. So we got everything up front here from QA1. We got the upper and lower A-arms, sway bar. We went with the conversion kit. A lot of times you can go with a full coilover, but there's no sense in it in a car like this. We didn't want to have to worry about that stuff. I know people who've been extremely fast with a conversion kit, and the conversion kit, what it does is it uses the adjustable coilover so that you can adjust the ride height, but it actually uses the stock cup for the spring to go into on the top. So, you know, it's a lot of it is preference. It doesn't really matter to us one way or another. Does it matter to you? You sure?
As long as the car works.
Okay, car's gonna work. And with that, you can still, it's a lot less work. You don't have to go in and you don't have to cut the cup out, weld in any brackets for the top of the coilover. It's basically just a direct bolt-in type deal to your stock subframe in the front. So the A-arms are the same. You don't even have to get coilovers to get this suspension. You can use your stock spring that's in the car and just not put these plates in. They have another plate that bolts in here. This bolts like this. They have another plate that bolts in here that is a cup style to where you can use just a regular spring. But we want, in my opinion, a car can never be too low. It can be too low to work good, but just looking at a car, it can never be too low. And so that's what we want the adjustable part for, so that we can put this thing in the weeds. We want to set this thing down low, not low enough that it's not going to work, because he's still going to race it, and we're still going to have stored energy in the front end to get the front end up on the small tire. So basically, we are going to turn around here, jack the car up, and rip all the suspension off of it, and then start fresh. So this kit comes with everything that you need. This car being as original as what it is. So we went to our local parts house and we went ahead and got new calipers and rotors for the front of this deal. These are pretty bad off. I looked at them the other day because we knew we were going to come to this, and I didn't want to have to stop where I was at and go get all the stuff. So I went ahead and got all that stuff. The stuff that's on this car looks to me like it's from 1972. They're pitted up, they need to be turned, they're rusted, so we're going to go ahead and put all new on it so that the whole front end is new. And right now we don't have anything for the steering, but eventually we will put all new steering stuff in it. We just didn't really even think we could get any of that stuff yet. So whenever we go to align the car, we'll have all new on it before we align it, and we'll get it put on. Okay. we'll do is we'll jack it up right here until these are loose, where you can take them off with your finger, and then we'll slowly let the jack down. Spin it around. Okay, now jack it up. Except turn it to where it doesn't let back down. Yep. Keep going until you get slack in here. Keep going. Okay, that'll work. Now see how it's finger tight? Look. Because otherwise this is going to and come open. See? You understand why we did that? Huh? No. Because there's tension on that spring. The only thing that's holding this together is this upper A-arm and this lower A-arm. This spring's trying to push them apart. You understand that? So if you don't have this here and you just take those bolts out, whenever this finally breaks open, that spring's going to come out and hurt you. Like, more people get hurt from this spring right here than anything. Whenever I was a kid and I didn't really know how to do any of this, I used to take a torch or a hacksaw and I would cut this spring to where there was no tension on it and then take everything out. Okay, slowly let it down. Slow. Keep going. I never stand in the way of the spring. Okay, hold that. Okay, it's never a good idea to stand right here because if that spring bounces out, it's going to hurt. Like knock your teeth out and break your face. Okay, keep going.
So it was going to shoot out?
No, I didn't say it was going to shoot out. I said it could shoot out.
Face.
Get you in the face. Keep going. Keep going. Usually it'll just come down and it'll eventually get loose. There you go. That'll work. Okay. Now, get this out of here. Always like to keep the hand on it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, there's not enough tension on it for it to pop out now. So you're probably okay. See here how loose it is? It's gonna be fine. Yeah. But man, look at that spring.
Dang.
Look how long that deal is. Yep.
No wonder that thing come up so high.
Yeah. Look at that. Huh. Alright, Aiden. So, now's the easy part. Like, we're done over here. Look, we got this bolt, and then this bolt, and that bolt. And the whole front end's off this deal. That's all we got to do. And then after that, you just reverse it. You go the opposite way. right, so we got all of our QA1 stuff laid out here for the front. We got everything all ripped off last time we were doing this. Car's been sitting here for a little while in between doing things. Baseball, racing the other car. Now it's time to get the car off the lift. So, first thing we're gonna have to do is the lower control arms. They come with this plate that bolts in right here. Hand me that. So since we went with the coilover setup, this plate bolts in right here and then holds the bottom of the coilover. The other plate that they have, it just holds the spring. So it'll be, you know, like a stock replacement spring that goes in there. But since we got the coilover, we got to bolt this piece in. This is the first thing. Luckily, for dummies like me, QA1's pretty good about, every time I do this, I think about it, and I've even installed these on the wrong side before. There's definitely a left and a right on this deal, and unless you just get it up there and look, for me anyways, it's pretty tough to tell. But QA1 puts the stickers, you know, and so far I'm pretty sure that they've always been right. The stickers go to the front of the car, so you know it's weird to bank on something like that being true, but I've put 2 or 3 sets of these things on now, and that's the way that they've been every time. This will probably be the one time that they're not.
Yeah.
So that's the way that we're going to put them on, and if it's not right, we'll know real quick as soon as we start putting spindle on.
Yeah, they'll be like this front.
Yeah. One of them, you know, basically you can tell unless you get both of the lefts on the right, the ball joints won't line up. You know, and if they are wrong, then the ball joints are going to line up way to one side of the fender well. The way that they go right is the ball joint lines up in the middle of the fender well. So, Aiden, you can go ahead and it's pretty simple setup in the front. Run your coilover spanners down, pull that sticker off, run the spanners all the way down, and then this one doesn't have a top because this top goes in the, you know, the factory spring. So this just sits on there like that. This right here goes into the cup in the factory. This is a full frame car. This isn't like my Nova or a Camaro. It doesn't have a subframe. This is a full frame car, so it goes in. I was going to say the subframe, but it goes in the frame. So make that deal happen. You just set those just like that, and then whenever we put them in there, we do that, and then boom, bolt these straight to this right here, which isn't going to work. So we're going to have to obviously swap out these ends. Surely in here, they have the right ends that we need. This is the tops. That's the other top.
Is it just those bushings or no?
Yeah, well, you just take these right here out. This whole piece right here slides out, and then you put that bushing through there, you know, and then it's just a bolt that runs through it. So it's not that big of a deal. You get some snap ring pliers. Aiden, you get to use your snap ring pliers for the first time. Actually, I just bought some snap ring pliers. And
they work good too.
They probably work pretty well, but this is going to be your first. Man, these things are light too.
Are they?
You ever held one?
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's just because it's the single up here makes it. Well, it's probably because I'm used to them with having a spring and everything on them too.
Yeah.
Okay, so grab some snap point ring pliers. Grab them plier drill. No. Shoo.
What? That's a ring.
No.
There's a ring on the.
No, that's for
for a
wires.
disconnector.
Yeah. Okay. Right here. See these? That looks pretty small. That's pretty big. It was a big boy for the brake. Let me watch. Take this right here. look real close because most of the time these fly around the shop. They'll go ping, and then you can't ever find them again.
Unless it's in your eye.
Yeah. So that, and then we'll just tap this out with a hammer. So take this right here, take that other one while I tap this out, and let me see you take that thing off. Got it pushing out. It doesn't matter, either one. It can come out both ways. Did you get it? Huh? Yeah. There you go. Yeah, it sucks, huh? What do you do? They have them in the package to where you know that's the one that goes with it. And then there's the bolt and the nuts and all that stuff anyways. So, and this is also, it looks like this is also what bolts the plate down.
Just some little screws or bolts or whatever.
Yeah, well, it's just, it's an Allen with, you know, a 1/2 inch nut. You ain't got to worry about all the washers and all that shit because they're the nylocks. Get it?
Nope.
Come over here, I want to watch you do it.
No.
Hey, I've spent my whole life, I still suck at that.
We all do.
That's why I had to get those good snap ring pliers. And I thought that it might step my game up with the snap rings. It doesn't. It doesn't make your game any better. You still lose all the snap rings. They still fly all over the shop. That's just part of it.
Yep.
You know, it's
Yep.
like pulling the transmission lines off of, you know, a newer car,
And the
truck,
Jesus
whatever.
clips.
You know, the Jesus clips. Because whenever they fly around the shop, you go, Jesus! Where did it go?
I got one.
You got it off? That's all you need to do is one. Oh, you got one side.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you can work with that. And now you can take, you can get, you can either use the deal and take it the rest of the way off, or you can get a screwdriver and work it around. Hey, just use those.
Screwdriver sounds easy.
The screwdriver runs
It
in.
sounds like it's gonna go into your-
and your hand as you're prying with it.
Then you get a
So-
hole in your hand.
Look here, I'll hold
Uh-huh,
this.
yeah.
Okay, look, I'll hold this. You put those next to each other and pry it. Yeah. There you go. Go. Hey. You remember the leverage?
I do have.
Not really. There you go. There you go.
Nice.
Boom. Okay, get it away from me. Now let go. There you go. Okay, come here. And we'll just push that in like that. So it's flush. Now that one's ready. Okay, I took apart this one thing right here. So look. Take this. Take that and find that size Allen. Come here. And then I'm guessing that that's a 1/2, but find it. Hey, and then put those. I was fixing to say that's not it. There's only 3 of them, but there's 4. Hey, and then take those and put bolt this plate into this A-arm. And you gotta do that on both sides. And I'll press this deal out with my hammer. What? Okay. Use those. Just that. Half, right? Yeah? Okay. Okay. Now if you want, you can put that on the gun, and I think that you can get to the bottom side of the gun on all those. It's up to you.
So what makes this setup better than the stock stuff? I know the coilovers, you can raise it and lower it, but why the?
Well, not only can you raise and lower the car, but you can set the car up however you want. You know, you can apply more pressure to each wheel if you want to. So not only is this good for drag racing, but you can corner better. Yeah, don't get me to lying about how they set cars up for cornering. I don't know, but I would imagine.
I tried to sound smart to Tyler the other night about cornering and drag racing weights, and he was like,
if we wanted to get into it about cornering and weights and stuff like that, we could get Tyler over here and he could explain it to us. Because he knows way more about turning than what we ever will.
Yeah.
Or even care to know.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
We just know drag race.
Yep.
But we do know that not only is this good for drag racers, it's good for cornering, it's good for, you know, whatever you might want to do with your car. It's good for just cruising around. So I know that in drag race applications, we like, every car is going to tilt. That's just part of it. The torque of the motor is going to roll the car over. So we use corner weights to, I mean, you ever go to the track and you see a car doing a burnout? It doesn't matter if it's a pro mod all the way down to a stock car. And the thing just doesn't go straight in the burnout. You see all these idiots on street holding the cars while we do burnouts? You wouldn't have to do that if the corner weights were right. I've had cars that kick to the side before. That's just part of it. Sometimes you got to do some crazy shit to your cars to make them go straight. And it throws all your corner weights and stuff off. But 9 out of 10 times, if your corner weights are correct, your car's going to do a burnout and it's going to go straight in the burnout. But I've also seen plenty of racers, including I've been that guy. You do a burnout, car kicks sideways, and then it just rolls sideways the whole way, you know, and then you let off and it gets squirrely out there, or, you know, it starts to hook after the burnout, tries to take out the tree, you know, or the flagger, wherever you might race at.
What should I go the other way?
There's two ways to look at this. I look at it like, what if you lose that nut? Which way is it going to stay in there better? Which is that way. But do you want the excess that's hanging out to be underneath the car and be able to see it? Let's just assume that they're not going to come off of there, and I put the nut on top. Because from the bottom, it's cleaner, it looks better. Somebody's going to burn me for that one. Yep.
Man, you know, so far in our YouTube channel, you know, we're only about a month or so into it, month and a half. There hadn't been a whole lot of haters. You know, there's the occasional.
There was like one dislike on that.
But you got to realize, a lot of the stuff that I do, not everybody's going to do it that way. I get it. There's a lot of stuff that I do that probably isn't even correct, you know, but over the years, it's the way that either I was taught or the way that made sense in my head, which may not make sense in everybody's head. Somebody may look at something that I do and go, what a moron, you know? Hey, and I get it, you know? I see a lot of people all the time, like most days of my life, and I say, what a moron, you know? I feel like sometimes it's all I run into is morons. But that's part of it, you know? Everybody's going to do things different. There's a million different ways to get things done.
I'll tighten that down now.
Why would you do that? Get them all started, then tighten them down. But, you know, there's a million different ways to do things, and until there's one person that goes out there, never loses, never does anything wrong, find the way that he does it and then do it the way that he does. But you're not going to find anybody out there that does that. Everybody does things differently, and it doesn't even matter. Me and Phantom do things differently. I like a clean shop. You know?
Oh, I do too.
Just off the top of my head, something, you know, but it doesn't matter. How he sets his vehicle up could be different from how I want to set my vehicle up. And these coilovers will allow you to do whatever you want to do, however you want to set your shit up. And we're not even 100% sure how we're going to set this deal up yet. We haven't really raced a whole lot with the triangulated 4-link like this car has. It's the stock stuff, and I know that, love them or hate them, Fox bodies have some of the best stock suspension working stuff, and this is not too far from what a Fox body Mustang is. And I know that a lot of these cars work really well. So we'll figure it out. As he gains power, our knowledge of this type of suspension and stock suspension type stuff like this, you know, I mean, my Nova is a leaf spring car, or you know, it was at one point. So all kinds of different suspensions, all kinds of different ways to do it. You know, we actually only swapped to 4-link, what, now 4 years ago, probably, maybe 5.
About 5.
Other than that, we were ladder bar car, and ladder bar's pretty simple compared to 4-link. You know, there's not a whole lot going on there. It either works or it doesn't. You know,
And most of the time it
most
does.
Most of the time it does. Get it?
No, not all.
Okay. Yeah. Here, let me hold this backside, and then you can hammer it down. Which one are you on?
This one.
Okay. Hammer.
Well, you gotta get on the bolt.
Oh yeah, you probably need an extension. Why don't you go get a little small extension? So one of the first things I put all this suspension on was my donk, and we just made, you know, a 2,500 mile trip on that deal, and I don't think I could have asked for a better ride. You know, we got coilovers all the way around on it also, because eventually one of these days we're planning on probably trying to race that deal, and you couldn't ask for a better ride than what we had. Wow, is that long enough? Hit it. Oh, we're gonna go to this one? Yep. All of them tight. Oh, hit that one. One more time. Okay, that seems good and torqued to me. Okay, grab the other one. Grab the other plate. Huh? It's right there. What are you doing? That's the one that we just did.
Wow.
I was just looking at you because I thought you was gonna flip that thing off of there and just let it fall instead of picking it up and moving it and then picking it up. Okay, here's the other set of bolts. There. Give me one of that. I'm gonna do one. Then we can get the rest of it. Put this down there because that's the top of the shock. So we also got some other stuff while we were here. The car set for a long time. The front calipers and the rubber brake hoses, they're pretty rotted out. So we're gonna change all that while we're here. We went ahead and got rotors too, instead of having the ones that were on it turned. Got rotors, brake pads, calipers, and the rubber brake lines. So while we're here, we're gonna get all that done. The one thing that we haven't got that we're gonna get before he drives it is all the steering stuff. We'll change all that stuff out. I don't have it right now, but before we get it aligned, all that stuff will be new. Good? Sure. Okay, so look at those springs. Just because I'm not 100% sure, a lot of these cars will have I doubt that these are, but just make sure that those springs have the same stock part number on them. and then take the passenger side over to the passenger side, and we'll get started. I know that before we had coilovers, the 55 still doesn't have coilovers on it. We actually had coilovers on it and it didn't work. So we went and found a spring that we were able to, we needed as much stored energy in the front end to get the front end up, small tire car. So we actually got some old trick big block springs for that deal, and they had a lot of stored energy in them. And we used to always put the heavier spring on the driver's side because that's where the driver sits. You know, especially if you're a driver that's, you know, as fat as I am. To get the car to set straight, you need a stiffer spring on the driver's side, and that is a lot of what the coilovers on this deal do. If you look at almost any drag race car anyways, like I said, I don't know how everybody sets theirs up, but the coilover will be spun up more on the driver's side front. And that's just because typically there's a lot more weight with the driver being on that side. But in Aiden's case for right now, I'm the passenger of this deal. So, like I said, I haven't even really thought about how I'm gonna set this car up yet. So we'll get to that whenever we get there. Where was he going?
I don't know.
He just done, huh? He probably just gonna go in the house, chill for a little while. The one thing he doesn't understand is if he leaves, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do anything.
Yeah. Because this is his car.
Yep. This is Aiden's car, and he's gonna do the work. I know that I'm here helping him, and sometimes my patience is at its maximum. So I will jump in and do some stuff just so that I don't completely blow up. But yes, sometimes the patience runs out. So, but he's been doing a good job. Ready? Yeah? What you got?
Went right there.
Uh-huh.
What'd you do there?
Okay, so like I said, look, I went ahead and peeled that sticker off for you. Get those, open them up, run them down. Is that what these run?
I mean, looks like.
All right then, get them out. Let's do it. So, whenever we didn't use these on the rear the other day, I saw those Torringtons. Where are they at? We got some Torrington thrust bearings.
They're in a little box somewhere.
Okay, so look. Run that down. Hey, because I'm cool with not having any on the back. But the front is where all the weight is at, and it needs them.
All right.
All right, what?
All the way down here?
All the way down.
That's not, it's like it won't.
Yeah. It's like it's jammed together, huh?
Yeah, that's how they hold. Look.
Oh.
Now, run this one down, or you gotta get that one straight. There you go. You just do that the whole way. But if you run them together, then they stick on there. All right, what? You ran that one down?
Yeah.
Okay. Man, there's two of them though, right? Let's go ahead and do that other one.
All right.
Is all the QA1 stuff out of boxes?
I believe so. I think that's it. I mean, we had those other ones, right? Remember? Because I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, here's some. I don't know if they're new, but I don't really care. Damn it. We need one. Looks like we're missing one lock. Huh? Look, we need one more of these. No, that'll work, right? Well, we need one on the top and one on the bottom, and both of those come with one. You know what I mean? Man, you don't have to have them, but man, it sure does roll smoother on those instead of on this. But you know, they'll roll on the bottom of the spring. It's a pretty flat surface right there.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fine. As long as I put this on the flat surface and not on the spring, because it'll probably hit that one edge. Okay, now look. See this right here? This is like a Torrington bearing. So it just rolls real easy on that. See how this side here allows your spring to roll, to where you can move these real easy. Okay, and then this goes on here just like that. And then that goes up in there and bolts the same way that your shock went in. We ain't gonna put that on until we get the A-arms on.
So putting everything on is way moving everything on.
That's not what I said.
But that's what it seems like.
Is that what it seems like?
Things are definitely not always
All right,
as they
well,
seem.
We're gonna find out. Okay, so okay. Lowering control arms right there. Okay, these are all for the lower control arms. Find the bolts for the upper control arms. I'm assuming. What does it say? Why do you just look at me?
Shock stud pushing it.
Okay, you see. Oh yeah, this is for the top. Top of the shock. Okay, another one goes to the, let me see. Okay, so that is, it's weird. I guess they just give you these for, remember I had to press all of these into them Impalas. All of these already have them though.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just wondering if,
Are they the same diameter? Inside diameter?
Yeah, inside diameter is different. Yes, inside diameter is different. So I'm guessing that these are, okay, I guess wrong. This goes to the top of the shock. Where's the other one? Right here. Okay, see all the little baggies? Throw those away. You know what? I know all the shims and stuff aren't here. It just makes me wonder what. I know what these are. Jesus. These are for the shocks.
Well, yeah.
Be in the front.
So the discussion here is we're fixing to wash some parts in our Ranger parts washer.
So Aiden just schooled me to something, you know, and I'm still floored. It doesn't happen very often. So I told him, I said, man, I knew we should have washed these parts. You know, I'm the guy where I load the shit up in the van, I take it up to the car wash, and I blast everything off. And he looks at me and he goes, why don't we just put it in the parts washer? So there's that. you know, we do have a parts washer, and it's a nice.
It works really well.
And it works really well. And I just, every time I break one of my cars, which both of them are sitting there broken, I use that thing to wash parts in. And it just, for some reason, like I said, sometimes my mind works weird, and my mind doesn't work like you put greasy spindles in this deal. You know, I put greasy engine parts and stuff, and whenever they come out, they look fucking billet, you know, and it's nice. So, but yes, that is a good idea, and we're gonna fire up the parts washer, and we'll put that stuff in there. And by the time we get the upper and lower control arms on, they'll probably be ready. So. Okay, Aiden, so we got these out of the cleaner. They're a little rusty.
Get him some spray paint on them deals.
Why? See how nice and clean and everything this looks? It's gonna look just like this after driving through one water puddle. So, yeah, I mean, we could, but look, we didn't clean none of this stuff up. Whenever we go to paint this car, we need to pull the front clip off of it and clean all this up. So that probably won't ever happen, but you know, with good intentions.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put this on, Aiden. Basically now, this is a piece of cake, buddy. Look, pull that off,
buddy.
Pull this off, put that on there, put this on here, boom. Actually do this one first, and then we will put this in, and then we'll lift this to this, right? And then after that, we will tighten up all these for the calipers, and then you get to pack some bearings. Are you excited?
You
I
make
think you're
everything
excited.
sound so bad.
I can feel that you're excited about it.
But this thing's still like a little bit warm.
It is. I didn't say it wasn't fucking cold.
You ever pack bearings, Aiden?
No.
No? You are in for a treat.
Okay. You're gonna do one, and I'm gonna do one.
Oh.
You're gonna do exactly what I'm telling you you're gonna do. Okay, you ready? Hold your hand out.
No.
Hold your hand out or go in the house. Okay, go in the house. I'll finish this car myself and you won't ever drive it.
Big sissy.
Hang on. Okay. There's yours. There's mine. I should have asked you.
You
which
should
hand
just
wanted to
slap him with it.
Yeah. Whoa! I should have asked you which hand you wanted to use first. But you know, it is what it is. Okay, grab one. Ready? Okay, is there not two like this one? Okay, you ready? Hold it like this. Okay? You grab a little bit. That's it. That's all you do.
What side?
Watch, I'll show you.
Does it matter what
Hang on,
side?
hang on, let me show you. Let me show you what the whole purpose of this is. Okay, see that? See how I pushed all that grease from this bottom side? No. Okay, that's not gonna work. Look at me. Stop. Don't do anything. Look at me. I pushed, whenever I do this right here, I'm grabbing a little bit of the grease at a time. I'm grabbing a little bit of the grease at a time. Every once in a while, I dip it in the grease, and then whenever I do this, it packs the grease through every one of these bearings and then comes out on the top side. Whenever it comes out on the top side, you spin it and then do it all the way around the bearing. Nope, you gotta hit it hard on your hand. Hey, hold it solid.
I mean, nailed it. First try.
Okay. All right, let the whole car down, Aiden. Let's get a look at it, and then we'll kind of look from side to side. And I mean, from this side, I love it.
Yeah.
Like, we get the matching wheels on the front, and it's gonna be killer. I mean, I've done this a couple of times. It sets pretty straight. What? Hey, you want me to push this side down? All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
All right, let's lift up though. Let's see what kind of stored energy it has. Set up. Ready? 1, 2, 3. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, all in all,
I was a little worried that the springs were going to be a little too stiff. They're definitely going to settle a little bit, you know, so as we drive it around a little bit, or if we load it up on the trailer and ride around for a little while, within an hour, it's going to settle a little. So we still have to put it on the scales. We still got to align it. We still got to bleed the brakes. What else, Aiden? We still got to get wheels coming for the front. And, you know, there's always that nitrous we still got to hook up on it. But for now, we'll take it back to the track the way that it is, after we bleed the brakes, align it, scale it, all that stuff, and see where he's at now. You know, before we send the converter back and tighten it up, make the thing real fast. So, what do you think? What about the ride height? Stand back and look at it. You can't tell nothing from there.
I know, but you can't. There's part of the tire that you can't see. Don't never go underneath.
Yeah, it's tucking. It's called tucking.
That's good.
It should be tucking wheel. You know, trying to tuck 14s is tough. We'll put them 17s on the front though, and it'll look pretty good. It's pretty level.
yeah.
And, you know, it doesn't really hurt my feelings for these type of cars. Camaros, Mustangs. Why did I say Mustangs? Okay. Even the, you know, 66-ish Mustangs, any muscle car of this era, it doesn't really bother me for them to sit down a little bit in the back. I know a lot of people don't favor that stuff, but I mean, hell, look at my van. I obviously don't mind everything sitting down a little bit in the back. I don't know, it's just, I mean, a lot of people say it's the California in me, but I don't know what it is. I prefer to drag ass a little bit. I like it. It looks good.
And all in all, it was a fairly straightforward and easy install.
Well,
I mean, you
I've
unbolt
done
the old
the fronts
stuff.
before. I knew it wasn't going to be that long, and you got to remember, this is taking somebody who's never done anything before. This is taking somebody who has limited knowledge of tools, even, let alone, you know, working on cars. And, you know, of course, I did do a lot of it. I did help, and, you know, a lot of it I just did. But Aiden could literally do this by himself with minimal help from me in a day, you know what I mean? And that's including pulling the old stuff off. So, you know, we could make this deal happen. I could do this whole swap myself in 3 hours probably. So it's a fairly simple deal. It's all bolt on, and we didn't have any problems. We didn't have to adjust anything.
Didn't have to cut
We
nothing,
didn't have to
beat
cut
nothing.
We didn't have to beat on anything. And, you know, I didn't even beat on Aiden.
Not on camera.
A couple of times, I got close, but, you know. What do you think?
I like the way it sits. It looks like the front end is a little higher than that.
Maybe a little bit, but it won't be, and we can't judge that right now because it's got the stock wheels on the front. Once we get the wheels on it, then we'll be able to adjust the ride height, but as far as setting the car up and stuff, that's not going to change. Once we get the car set up, if we need to lower the front or raise the front, we just go the same spanners on both sides, and it'll lower the front or raise the front, whatever we want to do. So we'll always be able to adjust this car for whatever we want to do. So if you daily drive it, like if you're going to drive it to high school and stuff, you never know. We may raise it up. Or sometimes cars don't work that well low because geometry and stuff isn't right. So we may have to raise it up for the track. But as of now, we've got the adjustability to do whatever we want with this car. Yep.